Hi everyone! Today I'm here with a slightly different video. So I'm here with my sort of June TBR, but instead of it being set TBR already, I've decided to do something slightly different. As you may know, I've been choosing my TBRs with the Wheel of TBR game, which I've done a few times now, which was fun, but lately, for some reason, I'm much more in a read mood, if that makes any sense. So instead of me having a set TBR, which sometimes can be quite stressful and restrictive, I found when I was in a reading slump as well, it does help to not have a stack of books in front of me that I have to read. So I'm going with the mood, so choosing literally a book according to my mood. But at the same time, it can work, but I do have a massive TBR, so sometimes going to my bookshelf and choosing a book can take quite some time. So then I actually give up and don't want to read anything because I just don't know what to read, so it gets difficult. So what I've decided to do this time is obviously scan through my shelves, find the books that I'm sort of in the mood for and have a stack there. It sort of did work for me in May when I did that, but I only did that with 3 books and I read 2 of them. One of them had to put like back because I lost my interest in it for now. But it did work and it was actually fun, so I just go to my bookshelf, pick up the book from there because I was still in the mood for those types of books, and it did work for me. So this time I'm gonna do a similar thing and have that, but also this time I decided to film the process of me talking to you through the books, why I'm choosing them, why I might not be choosing them and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure how to actually film it, so I guess I'm gonna figure it out whilst doing it, but I just thought it'd be a bit more fun, a bit more different I guess as well, because I haven't actually seen anyone do that kind of thing. I don't know if it's going to be boring, if it's going to be boring to watch, but I thought it'd be interesting because I enjoy watching videos in which people choose which books to read. So like their thought process, why they're choosing those books, what kind of books they're in the mood for, even what books do go with that mood and all of that stuff. So I'm just gonna scan through my shelves and see. I think at the moment I'm kind of in 2 different moods in terms of books. So I think I'm in the mood for like specific type of fantasy, and I don't know what I mean by that if I'm honest. So like maybe older fantasies or like old fashioned type of thing, potentially set in a magic school. I do enjoy those a lot anyway, but I think I'm sort of in the mood for that, but I will see whether there are any books on my shelf that would fit in that mood at all. And another mood I'm in the mood for is like a mixed media, sort of mixed format of the book, and mostly like thriller type things, and I will show you a few that I'm already thinking of. So the one that definitely comes to mind is Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, which is the 2nd book in a series. I enjoyed the first one, which was Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I really enjoyed that one. I read it a year or 2 ago now, and for some reason now I'm in the mood for something like this. So I mean, there is mixed media in terms of there are some interviews in here. There's also different like blog posts and other bits and pieces, different emails from different sources, like newspapers, articles, and different bits and bobs in here, so which makes it so much more exciting, so much more even like real, I guess. So that's definitely on the list that I'm in the mood for. So that is going on my TBR for June. I mean, if I don't read the books, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm not going to be mad at myself or anything. If my mood changes, that's fine. I'm just going to move on to something else. So I'm just going to test how this works, okay? So, and hopefully that's going to be entertaining in some sort to watch as well. But yes, so in this one we follow our main character Pip, who at least in the first book, she was a high school student, high school student, and there was like a murder investigation and the police decided to say that it's a suicide, but she didn't believe that, so she started her own investigation, and that was a lot of fun. I don't know what happens in the 2nd book, but I know for sure that we follow the same character and she's sort of doing a similar thing, so I'm excited. So that's definitely going on the list. Another one, well actually another 2 that are going to be on the list They're both new. One of them I just got literally today, but the other one I got from a box of stories. So these are going to be like a preview, sneak peek to my future book haul. But the next one is The Girl from Widow Hills by Megan Miranda, and that is the one that I got from a box of stories, which I got like a summer box for it, which I think I chose a thriller and something else. So this one is definitely a thriller, and again it's got like a mixed format, not as much maybe, but you can see there's some sort of article and there are a few bits and pieces in this one, not as much as in the other one, but it does sound rather fun. I think they're investigating a missing person and then she came back, and 20 years later she's basically haunted by all what's happened to her, and one day she finds a dead body by her house. Sounds exciting. Like I said, I'm in the mood for a thriller, so this is going on the list of the mood thing. So the next one is Night Film by Marisha Pessel. For some reason this book's been on my mind lately, out of nowhere. I mean, I've heard of it so many times before, like years ago, and I've always been interested in that one, but lately it literally kept popping up in my mind and I wanted to get it, so now I finally have it. And again, this one is about, it's actually investigating a murder of Ashley Cordova, and apparently they thought, like the police again decided that it was a suicide, but the main character decides to investigate it, and apparently he could lose his mind doing that. So again, it sounds exciting. There's definitely mixed media. There's some pictures and different bits and bobs as well, so this looks like it could be quite an experience to read it, so I'm actually really excited. This one is on the chunkier side. It's nearly 600 pages, but again, I'm sort of in the mood for like longer books, the ones that I can spend my time with, but hopefully they're going to be interesting. So that's another one, and I think that will be the last one of this sort on my shelves. I don't think I've got anything similar to that, at least in like thriller, murder mystery type of thing. Okay, the next one again is the one that I got today because it was sort of recommended by Amazon when I was choosing Night Film, so it popped up as one of the recommendations, and I have heard of this author before. So it is The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. What I somehow didn't realise though, it is proper horror book, and this is the first horror book on my TBR. I'm normally really quite easily scared, so I don't read horror like ever, but the premise actually sounds really exciting to me. It doesn't actually sound scary, but all of the feedback from different people who read it just said truly terrifying, proper horror and all that. So I'm slightly terrified already, but I'm also kind of curious because it does sound good, and when I read the blurb I thought, oh, that sounds great, so I bought that one as well. In this one we follow the main character Kara, who finds this mysterious like bunker type of thing that I think belongs to her uncle. She discovered it behind a hole in the wall of her uncle's house, and there's apparently some mysterious words written on it, so she gets obsessed with encrypting what it says, and apparently she discovers that it holds portraits to countless alternate realities, which sounds interesting to me. But these places are haunted by creatures that seem to hear thoughts, and the more one fears them, the stronger they become. It actually sounds great, and potentially I'm in the mood for something like that. Hopefully it won't be too scary, but we'll see about that. But I kind of really like the cover. It's creepy and I like it. Right, so I think these are like the thriller type things that I'm in the mood for. Now, like I said, I'm in the mood for almost like fantasy book, and I don't quite know. Right, I've decided to show you my bookshelf as well. You've never seen my TBR shelf before, but here we go. So I don't want to show you like all of it. I'm just going to show you briefly and then see which books I'm sort of in the mood for whilst I'm talking to you. There's a Summoner series just there, which is set in a magic school, but I just don't feel like I want to start a new series. I'd rather at least not something that I've already got, if that makes sense. I'm not too sure. What else do we have? Right, let's move down a shelf. It feels so weird just showing my shelf. You can see what stuff I've got here. That's really bizarre. Okay, I might be in the mood for The Rhythmatist, so I'm going to pick that up. and then I'll talk you through. But yeah, that's The Rhythmist by Brandon Sanderson, another book that is set in a magic school, and I believe it's a standalone. So that sounds exciting. So that's potentially a choice. I'm also kind of in the mood for this one, Shards of Earth, which is a sci-fi, but it's a thicker one. And I'm not actually sure because I recently read Sleeping Giants and it's sort of put me off from sci-fi for a little while. I don't know. So I'm gonna leave it off for now, I guess. The Fifth Season, I know for a fact, is a popular book, and I think it's like a sci-fi fantasy, again on a chunky side. And I'm not too sure on this one yet. I don't know. Am I in the mood for it? No, I'm gonna put it back for now. I've also got this middle grade novel, Heap House. I don't actually remember what it's about. I just read the blurb, it sounds a little bit too bizarre for my mood right now, so I'm gonna put it back down. Am I in the mood for this middle grade, which is Maggie Blue and the Dark World? Don't think I'm in the mood for a middle grade, so I'm going to put that back down again. Another potential is The Doll Funeral by Kate Hamer. This one is like a thriller, I think, as well. And it's from a perspective of a child, which I do enjoy books like this. So, I don't know. The Doll Funeral. Okay, I might put it in the pile. Let's move down a shelf. What am I in the mood for? Okay. Oh, we've got here Flames of Albion, which is by Jean Menzies, which is definitely like a fantasy book that she wrote. And okay, that's a possibility. I'm definitely interested in that one. I also don't want to pick up too many books because the choice again will be just ridiculous. I don't think I'm interested in anything else from this shelf, so let's go down a shelf again. This is like a mixed one rather than specific genre. Oh, well, this one sounds interesting. Mexican Gothic. I've heard great things about this one. It's like about haunted, not haunted, but like sort of like a gothic novel. Okay, I'm gonna put that on the pile. Am I in the mood for Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer? This one is from Edward's point of view from Twilight, and it's a massive one. I don't know, I've been meaning to go to this one. I'm gonna put it on the pile and then decide. I mean, also The Lights of Prague just always sounded great to me, and I've not picked it up for some reason. So shall I pick it up? I don't know. Let's put it in the pile for now. And the bottom ones are some thrillers, but I've already chosen some thrillers. I like adult contemporary and some non-fiction and some World War II historical fiction. Don't think I'm in the mood for that yet. So, okay. Well, okay, I'd rather have a massive pile here compared to what I did last month. I've got these 6 additional ones that I might be in the mood for, so choosing books is going to be interesting. But like I said, I've got here The Lights of Prague by Nicole Jarvis. I actually like the cover of this one. This one is obviously set in Prague, and I think it might be slightly historical fantasy sort of thing. They've got like vampiric kind of creatures in there, which I love vampire stories. But I'm not sure if I'm in the mood for something like I don't quite know where I'm going with this. But okay, I'm gonna keep it in the pile. Another, as you've seen, the vampire book, and that would actually fit the mood for something big and sort of dense. And it's not exactly that I'm not familiar with the story, so that'll be easy enough to get through, because I know Twilight quite a lot. I've watched the films, I read the books back in the day though, but I used to rewatch the films quite a lot, so that would really be easy to get into it, so I'm just going to keep it. Next one is Mexican Gothic, in which we've got the main character who gets a letter from her cousin who's getting married, and she's invited to stay at her house. but something creepy starts happening in the house. I do enjoy stories like that. Gothic novels are definitely one of my favourite things to read because they're always great. And I've heard great things about this one. Literally, I've not heard a single bad thing about this one. So this is definitely staying in the pile. Another one that would fit the fantasy mood, and hopefully from what I've heard it's also like a light-hearted fantasy. Light-hearted. And it's not even a big one, and it's just over 300 pages, so should be easy to read. So when I'm in the mood to read maybe a fantasy book but don't want anything too dense, this could be the one. I just know this is about like dragons, and I think it's also set in a magic school or other academy, something like that. They're dragons and stuff. Sounds interesting. Apparently the main character finds a dragon egg, and I think it's either something forbidden or something, and they're rediscovering the race of dragons or something like that. I don't know exactly, I don't remember, but it does sound interesting. And like I said, it's not a big book, which sometimes can be quite nice. Next one is The Doll Funeral by Kate Hamer, which was one of my Books of Stories books. And in this one, like I said before, it is from a perspective of a child, Ruby. She lives with her like foster parents. I'm gonna read you the blurb because it does sound rather cool. My name is Ruby. I live with Barbara and Mick. They're not my real parents, but they tell me what to do and what to say. I'm supposed to say that the bruises on my arms and the black eye came from falling down the stairs. But there are things I won't say. I won't tell them I'm going to hunt for my real parents. I don't say a word about Shadow, who sits on the stairs, or the wasp lady I saw on the way to bed. I did tell Mick that I saw the woman in the buttercup dress hanging upside down from her seatbelt in the forest at the back of our house. I told him I saw death crawl out of her. He said he'd give me a medal for lying. I wasn't lying. I'm a hunter for lost souls, and I'm going to be with my real family, and I'm not going to let Mick stop me. It sounds a bit disturbing, but also I think I'm going to enjoy this one. So this is definitely on the list. And the last one, finally, is The Arithmetist by Brandon Sanderson. Again, I've heard great things about it, and Brandon Sanderson is really loved here on BookTube. So yeah, I know it's set in a magic school. And it's also a bit of like a murder mystery as well, so I guess it fits both moods actually. So intriguing. But anyway, this is my massive TBR. I'm going to show you the stack. So I mean, it's only choices. I'm definitely not going to get to all of them, and also my mood for some of them might change, especially like if I read, let's say, a thriller, and if it was, let's say, a bad one, and if I didn't enjoy it quite as much, I might change my mind and go off thrillers for a while. That does happen. Or the opposite could happen. I could read a really good book and just be in the mood for something similar. So who knows how it's gonna go. I'm excited. I like not to having to be restricted too much. So let's see what I'm gonna read. I might not read any of these, which I doubt, because I'm in the mood for them, really. So yeah, well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this format. Please let me know what you thought of this one, whether you liked it or didn't like it, or if you have any sort of suggestions for the future videos like TBRs. So yeah, if you like this video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!